everybody, welcome back to Sincerely Legenia. In today's video, I am making a delicious keto creamy chicken piccata. You guys are gonna love this one. It is another quick, easy, and delicious recipe that your entire family is going to love. So stick around and I'm gonna show you how I do it. All right, everybody, to begin, we have 2 chicken breasts here that I'm going to cut in half. Chicken piccata is generally served with thin pieces of cutlets. So what I'm going to do is cut these 2 chicken breasts in half, and then we're going to pound them to make them even thinner and to try to get them as even as possible throughout. So I'm going to begin by cutting this one in half. Let's do our other one here. All right, perfect. All right, next I'm going to cover these with some plastic wrap so that we can begin to pound them and make them even thinner than they already are. So during the pounding process, make sure you use the flat part of your meat mallet, and we're just going to pound on these lightly. Make sure you don't pound too hard because we don't want our meat to tear. Just pound them really lightly. All right. Once we've pounded our meat, I'm gonna go ahead and discard this. And the next thing we're going to do is season our chicken breast with salt, and I'm using kosher salt here. And we can lightly season this, and I'll let you know why here in just a minute. And pepper. Now let's turn them over and let's do the other side as well. Let's season with salt. And go ahead again, lightly season. And pepper. All right, we've got our chicken breast nice and seasoned here. Let's move on to the next step. Okay, everyone, for the next portion here, we're going to make our mixture. This is our dreading mixture. The first thing we're going to add, I always use one of these little pans right here. It makes cleanup a lot easier. These are one of the pans that I get from Dollar Tree. You can get a pack of 4 of these for $1. So convenient. So the first thing I'm going to do is put in 1 cup of almond flour. Then I have 1/3 cup of pork rinds. I have 1/4 cup of shredded Parmesan cheese or grated Parmesan cheese. It doesn't matter. Then I have a tablespoon of Italian seasoning. And then I have pink Himalayan salt and pepper. That's another reason why I didn't add too much salt and pepper to our chicken. I don't want to over salt it. And then we're going to mix this together. We have our cutlets here all seasoned. The next thing we're going to do, and I'm going to use my hands. I always tell you guys I think the best tools in the kitchen are our hands. So I'm going to dip each one of our chicken cutlets into our breading mixture. I'm going to pat that down. And do it lightly. We don't want the coating to be too thick. We just want a nice light coating. All right, it's that simple. Shake off any excess. And we're going to sit it there and allow that to rest. Okay, I'm going to continue coating the rest of my chicken cutlets. All right, everybody, so the next thing we're going to do, it's time to cook our chicken cutlets. So what I'm going to do is over medium-high heat, I'm going to add about 2 tablespoons of olive oil. And 2 tablespoons of butter. All right, again, this is over medium-high heat. We don't want it to smoke. We want it to be a nice light sizzle. And to that, we're going to add our cutlets. All right, and because they're so thin, it'll take about 3 minutes on each side for them to cook. And when we're done, we're gonna move on to the next step, and that's making our delicious sauce. All right, guys, when the chicken is browned on the first side, let's go ahead and turn it over. And when you do, you should see a nice golden brown on this side. Oh my goodness, look at that. Absolutely delicious. All right, we're gonna let this side cook for about 2 to 3 minutes. All right, guys, this is ready. We're going to go ahead and take these two out. And we're going to put this in the oven so it will stay warm. Then we're going to add our remaining cutlets in. All right, we're going to let that cook. All right, guys, now let's get ready to make our sauce. So the first thing I'm going to do is squeeze some fresh lemons. And of course, we don't want any seeds in there. So the ones that I see right here, I'm just gonna go ahead and take those out. But I want about 1/3 of a cup of fresh lemon juice. And you will want to use, guys, fresh lemon juice. All right, and to our lemon juice, we're going to add 1/2 cup of chicken broth. All right. All right, we've got this ready to go. Let's take our chicken out of the skillet. All right, everyone, our chicken is ready, so I'm going to turn our burner off, and we'll go ahead and remove it from the skillet. All right, again, I'm gonna keep this in the oven to keep it warm while I make our sauce. All right, guys, this is one of those instances where I'm not going to use those brown bits that have developed at the bottom of my skillet. Because we coated our chicken with almond flour, it can sometimes, when we use it in the oil that we used and the butter, it can sometimes leave those grainy pieces that I do not want in this dish. I want this to be a nice, creamy, and rich sauce. So because of that, I'm gonna go ahead and discard of these bits and things at the bottom of the pan and use the same pan for our delicious, creamy piccata sauce. All right, guys, so I've gotten rid of those bits, so I'm just going to get a paper towel and just get the rest of it out here. Make sure you're very careful because our skillet is still really, really hot. So when you guys do this, make sure you are really careful. All right, so I've gotten most of those almond bits out of there. All right, so next I'm going to add to my skillet 2 tablespoons of butter. I'm gonna let this melt down. All right, and to that we're gonna go in with our chicken broth and lemon juice. I'm gonna pour that right on in. Nice simmer. Next, I'm going to add about 1/4 of a cup of capers that have been rinsed and drained. We're going to go ahead and add those in. All right, guys, and now next we're going to add 1/4 of a cup of heavy cream. This is where the creaminess comes in. All right, and mix that together. Lastly, guys, we're going to add 1/4 of a teaspoon of black pepper and salt. Okay, and we're going to give that a mix. Now we're going to allow this to simmer for another 5 to 8 minutes, and then it's going to be time to serve it up. All right, everybody. Our creamy, delicious, citrusy piccata sauce is ready. Let's go ahead and plate this up. ready. So let's go ahead and give this a taste. Let you guys see that. Delicious, creamy, and citrusy. Let's see what it tastes like. Try getting a caper in there. Let's give it a taste. Perfect. Delicious, guys. It is definitely creamy. It is rich. The sauce is rich and citrusy. The coating on our chicken is just perfect. The almond flour, the Parmesan cheese, and even the pork rind crumbs, absolutely delicious. The perfect low carb version of chicken piccata. You guys are gonna love this one. All right, guys, that is how you make a delicious, creamy keto chicken piccata. This is definitely a great recipe. It's full of flavor, and I promise you guys are gonna love it. Thank you guys so much for joining me for another episode right here on Sincerely Legenia. It is my prayer that you and your family have a blessed and a prosperous week, and I'll talk to you the next time. Have a good one. Bye.